So let's jump a little bit into drama. What is drama? The word drama comes from the Greek word dron, meaning to take action, to do, or to make. Drama is a form of theater that tells a story about people, their actions, and the conflicts that result. Conflict is the key to the movement of the story, and it is what qualifies a theatrical work as a play. So both theater and drama have three qualities that make them unique art forms. The first one is theater is always live. This means that theater cannot be replayed like a film. No two performances are ever exactly the same. And this is super true, especially with because your actors are on stage. Like, I've definitely had actors who've had a bad day and they've come on stage and they give a different energy to the room. One time, I might tell this story again. I don't remember where I tell it, but I love it. When I was an undergrad, we were doing this guy was kind of a asshole. Can I say that? I'm saying it anyway. And this girl slaps him, and he was like rude to her backstage, and so it was supposed to be a fake slap, but then she went all for it, and then their scene was definitely more passionate because that was a real slap, and she was pissed off. They kept character, but then that was something that never happened again, and I'm sure that audience, they didn't know it, but they definitely got something more raw. Okay, so number 2, they are always about human beings and human emotions. And this is a big one. This will probably be a test question. I love giving it, and I don't mean to trick you, so pay attention to this. So it's always about human emotions. So the musical Cats, I don't know if anybody saw that movie that came out over Christmas. I did. I had never seen Cats. I always heard that it was a weird play, and it was definitely a weird musical. But so the subject are cats, but stray cats, they might be sad. I always think about how sad stray animals are, but the amount of emotions that they feel were they're human emotions that we're projecting on cats. We just happen to be using cats as an example, but it's definitely how humans feel. So just know that will be on your test, 100%. All right, and then 3 is the majority of the time it is a collaborative form of art, requiring more than one type of art and artist to produce the final product. This is definitely true. I think my next slide I'm going to show you is a kind of chart to see how many people it takes to put on a production. It takes a lot of people. It's not just the actors and the directors. There's a whole bunch of people behind the scenes. So let's see, is that my next slide? Yes. Okay, great. So this is just our organizational chart from UNLV. And it's a pretty good example because UNLV, our theater company, is called the Nevada Conservatory Theater. And it starts off with an executive director, or in the real world, I guess we'd call it a artistic director. And then the PAC are the people who run the theater and make sure they're the facility managers. And then you have production managers. We'll get into all of these people, but it trickles down all the way to even shop crew. And those are the people who help us make the sets and build things. And every single person is super important. So I'd say at UNLV it takes about, 40, 50 people to put on a play just here. Okay, so we've talked a little about what drama is and what theater is. Let's talk about what performing arts are. So performing arts is an act performed by a person. The performing arts are unique because they exist only in the time it takes an actor, singer, musician, or dancer to complete a performance. Therefore, they all have a beginning, middle, and end. Once a performance ends, the work no longer exists, leaving behind no tangible objects such as a painting or a statue. We have 4 types of performing arts. There's theater, music, opera, and dance. And then, and I kind of touched on this earlier, an interesting thing about theater is that theater is unique because it is the only art form which the medium and the subject are exactly the same. The subject of a play are human beings and human acts, and the medium of the play are also human beings and human acts. And you don't need all of this stuff like costumes or any of that to go into it. You just literally need a person on stage. And yeah, sometimes people just wear black, just black, and they're on stage and they're talking and you're perfect. Theater, performing arts. So we have a couple categories of theater we're going to go into. So we have commercial plays or commercial theater. Commercial plays offer the same or safe themes, plenty of laughs, and spectacle designed to appeal to a majority of people, thereby filling lots of seats and ideally making a lot of money. I mean, basically everything on Broadway is kind of a commercial. It's out there on Broadway so it can make money. Smaller theaters probably, they have less commercial things. And like, you know, all the shows that tour, like when Wicked tours, everybody wants to see Wicked, maybe. It won the Tony, like in 2004. And then like Aladdin, they are doing a lot of Disney plays that are now on Broadway. Aladdin's really great though. I've seen clips of it and it's super fun. So all of those are just kind of commercial plays because they know people will come and see them. Next we have historical theater. This presents dramas that uses styles, themes, and staging of plays from a particular historical period. I mean, one of the best examples of this right now is Hamilton. People love Hamilton, and it's definitely back in like 1776. So that they're in costumes like that, and they're talking about a time of our founding fathers and things like that. So that's a historical theatrical piece. Then we have political theater. It allows playwrights, directors, and actors to express their personal opinions about current issues, trends, and politics. I'm noticing I have a lot of typos. I'm so sorry. I'm like seeing this and I'm just like, damn, get it together, girl. But yeah, so examples of this are, there was a play called Hillary and Clinton, and it had, I love John Lithgow, so that's why I put it in there. Future cat name, John Lithgow. So it's about the days leading up to the election results when Hillary was running for president a couple years ago. So that's an example. They wrote about that. Then we have experimental theater. It might break down barriers by eliminating the distance between actor and audience, trying out new staging techniques, or even questions the nature of theater itself. I have a clip. Right now as I'm recording, I'm not sure how I'm going to add the clip, so maybe I'll figure that out by the time we're there. But there's this Shakespeare sonnet, Sonnet 71. So I'll read this to you right now. No longer mourn for me when I am dead. Then you shall hear this surely sullen bell give warning to the world that I am fled from this vile world with the vilest worms to dwell. Nay, if you read this line, remember not the hand that writ it, for I love you so, that I in your sweet thoughts would be forgotten, if thinking on me then should make you woe. Oh, if I say you look upon the verse, when I perhaps compounded am with clay, do not so much as my poor name rehearse, but let your love even with my life decay, lest the wise world should look into your moan, and mock you with me after I am gone. So I'm going to post this clip. This is a German theater company that does this clip, and like same sonnet, but you know, it kind of sounded sweet and sad. They do it in an experimental theater way. So watch that.
bis der letzte dumpfe Glockenton verkündet, dass ich aus dem Jammertal entwischt bei den gemeinen Würmern wohn. Nein! Du siehst, gedenke nichts der Hand, die sein schrieb. Ich liebe dich. Ich liebe dich. Ich liebe dich. Zu denken, du denkst an mich von Trauer übermannt. Das müsst mich mehr als ein Vergessen kränken. Und liest du eines Tages dies Gedicht, bin ich vielleicht schon halb zu Staub zerrieben, dann sag auch meinen armen Namen nicht. Mit meinem Leben ende auch dein Lieben. Dass nicht die Welt dein Klagen sieht, gib Acht. Nicht, wenn ich hin will, dich um mich verlacht.
Nicht länger, klage um mich, sterb ich mal, als bis der letzte, dumpfe Glockenton verkündet, dass ich aus dem Jammertal entwischt, bei den gemeinen Würmern wohn.
I am gone.
And then last we have cultural theater, which is designed to support the heritage, customs, and point of view of a particular people, religion, class, country, or community. This theater provides a window into a world that is different from their own, or by preserving the unique traditions of a particular society. Later, we're going to go on a little bit of theater around the world, and we'll learn about like No and Kabuki and all of that. And so this is that's a great example of what cultural theater is.